FTC shuts down 4 robocall groups responsible for billions of illegal robocalls.
Good fucking job,
Thank goodness.
dude.
Yeah, finally the government does something right.
Totally support this.
Yesterday, the FTC announced they had won a court order against 4 separate operations that had been bombarding consumers nationwide with billions of unwanted and illegal robocalls, pitching auto warranties, debt relief services, home security systems, fake charities, and Google search. Google search? The fuck is that?
like selling them advertising, I think.
Oh, okay. The FTC also went after one company that provided the software platform used to make more than 1 billion illegal robocalls. Some of these groups spoofed caller IDs to trick you into answering. Yeah, those are most of the ones I get.
Yeah, they'll have your area code, wherever your phone's set.
Yeah, my phone has my phone has an Ohio area code still, so I get it. It acts like they're all from Ohio,
Dude,
basically.
It is useful, though, because I never answer those calls. Because
Yeah.
I know for a fact, I'm like, no one from Ohio is calling me.
Yeah, I don't have no business dealings in Ohio.
Dude, I get a ton from around here.
Yeah.
Just like local area numbers that'll come through that it's just some fucking warranty bullshit.
Right, and they're probably not even anywhere around here. They're probably in fucking.
Well, I hope a lot of those were wrapped up in this because I'll sleep better.
Yeah, well, I just got a robocall earlier today, so I'm thinking, there's a lot of work yet to be done, but I'm glad they're finally starting to actually tackle the problem because it's gotten ridiculous.
I want to do a class action lawsuit against these motherfuckers because I
they
have
should.
legitimate anxiety when my phone blows up.
Because of that?
Yeah. No, it's not even because of that. It's just me. Like, I'm triggered by my phone blowing up and it being somebody I don't know and it happening all the goddamn time. And it happens all the goddamn time to me. I have these, like, rushes of fucking anxiety I got to deal with because these robocallers blow my phone up at 8 in the morning. Knock me out of a dead sleep.
With the Federal Trade Commission's victory in court, they received an order that banned the defendants from making robocalls and most telemarketing activities.
There needs to be a blanket
Ban all of it, dude.
ban on robocall, period.
The court also imposed millions of dollars in fines, judgment against the groups. Now, some
Good.
No, you know what? I'm sorry.
Some
If these are legal,
robocalls can be all right if they're solicited. Like if you're being contacted by a company that you actually filled out.
No, I'm
if
talking
you have a
about
relationship,
random.
if you have an established consumer relationship with a company and you explicitly say, yes, I am fine being contacted this way, I'm fine with that. I am not fine with these fucking assholes calling people endlessly. And the fact of the matter is, oh yeah, they're being fined millions of dollars. They've scammed people out of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars.
You want to refinance your vehicle?
What we fucking need to do is throw these. If they're in this country, they need to go to fucking jail. Fuck that shit, dude. They fucking harass people with these unwanted calls.
They're scammers.
And they're scamming people. Dude, I got a fucking call from one of these things. They're like, if you're on Medicare, press 1. I'm like, okay. Because it's like, do you have chronic pain? I'm like, yep. So I go through the whole step, and the guy's like, yeah, whatever. They start doing their sales pitch, and it's like, I just want you to know you're a fucking piece of shit for scamming old people, and you should kill yourself. And I said it really fast. If you start giving them shit, they'll hang up on you. So I made sure to fucking insert that. It's like, you're scamming people on Medicare. You're scamming people over 65 who are old and senile, and you're going to scam and the government, too, at the same time. And the government's allowing this to happen. It's ridiculous, dude.
Yep, it is.
This is maybe a smaller story than we normally necessarily cover here, but I thought it was kind of interesting. Street racers get life in prison for fatal accident.
Where did this happen?
Germany.
In Germany. Okay.
A German court has upheld the murder convictions of 2 men whose midnight drag race in downtown Berlin ended with a crash that killed another driver. Investigators said the 2 reached speeds of 106 miles per hour during their 2016 race on Berlin's, not even going to try that word, but you can see it right.
Kurfürstendamm.
Kurfürstendamm
Boulevard.
Kurfürstendamm Boulevard.
That's a really cool name for a boulevard, though.
One of the men racing struck an uninvolved Jeep, and the 69-year-old driver died. The pair were sentenced to life in prison in 2017 after receiving Germany's first murder convictions for a drag racing fatality. The verdict was overturned on appeal last year. A federal court ruled the crime didn't meet the legal requirements for murder in order to retrial, but the Berlin state court reinstated the earlier verdict Tuesday, saying the racers' actions had gone beyond negligence and they knew the race could result in a death.
I don't know if that's murder, though.
I mean,
that's definitely like a negligent manslaughter. That's definitely them being super negligent.
the question is, and this is the philosophical question, right? Is there a difference between I'm going to go stab that guy to death and take his wallet, and I'm going to go
Be careless.
be so careless that if somebody does pull out in normal traffic, I could hit them and kill them? Is there really a fucking fundamental difference? In pursuit of doing something completely meaningless, drag racing another dude in the middle of the night.
Well, I think it's a.
The end result is the same for that family.
Yeah.
Isn't about the intention.
But with I mean, like at least in I mean, I don't know about. I'm not an expert in Germany's legal system, but at least in our legal system, intent is very important to how we perceive different murders.
Right,
Like,
but at a
if you
certain point,
premeditate
isn't racing at 106 miles an hour on a city street? Couldn't you argue that you intend to do harm?
Like, we make a distinction between premeditated murder and murder in the heat of the moment
Sure.
in our legal system.
I don't think they intended to do harm, but you have to acknowledge it's a distinct possibility driving on a public road.
It's like
doing
if I go outside and just like I'm the axe person and I just swing my axe randomly, and if you happen to get in the way, you may be killed.
Right.
You know, am I gonna escape a murdering someone with an axe charge?
But do you feel?
I just say, well, look, I was just swinging it randomly.
But do you guys feel taking
someone got in the way? You know.
But do you guys feel taking that out of even just the saying, is it murder or not? Do you think life in prison is a fair sentence?
No, I don't know what life in prison means in the German legal system.
I don't either.
Because life in prison doesn't.
Well, if we assume that means they'll be in
doesn't-
prison for I guess let's say at least 25 years to life.
Right.
Because a lot of systems are like that. That maybe they can be paroled after 20 years.
Let me see
25
what
years.
life in prison is in Germany.
Yeah, because even in state prisons and states in the
Because sometimes that means actually spending your life in prison.
Well, yeah, like in state prisons, life in prison can mean
In
20
Germany,
years.
a prisoner sentenced to life imprisonment normally may apply for parole after having served 15 years.
So
there's a good chance they'll probably serve somewhere around that.
You know, if
Unless they
here we
were
go. Here's a
case.
more detailed thing about it. This is Wikipedia. You can usually get parole after 15 years. If the parole court rejects the application, the inmate may reapply after a court-determined blocking period no longer than 2 years. So basically, it sounds like 15 years from now, these guys will be able to appeal this. And if they lose, they get another appeal every 2 years after that.
It's not dissimilar from our system,
Right,
honestly.
so it's
No, it's
not,
not.
That's not crazy. Like if you do a behavior like this where you're driving a vehicle through a city street going 106 miles an hour, racing another person, and you know that any pedestrian or anything that gets in the way is probably going to die.
Yeah.
That's a level of carelessness that seems like it warrants some kind of punishment. And, 15 years, that might be ballpark. I mean, at least for most people.
You definitely don't want to send a message that
it's not a big deal.
it's not a big deal. And 15 years, yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like a life sentence
Yeah.
in Germany is a death sentence. So I'm fine with
it
it.
makes
then.
more sense when it's put like if they said 15 to potentially life. That's
We do
different.
that here. We'll do like 20 to life or 25 to life to let people know when that, like what the minimum amount of that sentence you have to serve before you're eligible for
I
parole.
think if there's some chance that someone could get out, I mean, after 15 years, I think that's probably something that's good. I mean, because, look, I don't want to say that it's not serious what they did, but I mean, at a certain point, I just don't think we can be, if we're just so restrictive that we just imprison people for life.
Look.
But all for the most heinous crimes. I mean, look, you're talking about something like Anders Breivik or something where I know Norway is 15 years is the max you can get. I mean, obviously he'll spend the rest of his life in prison.
I feel like there has to be a consideration of like the intelligence of the people involved too, and how much they actually understood the actions they were undertaking.
How do you wait a minute? Let's unpack that a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
How do you make that determination? What's intelligence?
Psychological evaluation. Like
are you talking about like if a person's mentally retarded and they do something like that?
Or
like,
even
obviously,
or
that's
even if
one
they
way.
just
Yeah,
have
different.
even if they just have a diminished sense of consequence.
Because
I think it's a more heinous action if someone really understands the risk they're taking. Because some people are just stupid risk-taking morons who just don't seem to
they just
think
do this
about
for
those
fun.
kind of things at all.
How do you decide whether a person didn't
Psychological evaluation, cognitive evaluations of different sorts.
but what you're asking them to do is to come to the conclusion that this person didn't know that driving a car too fast on the road was dangerous and could kill somebody.
Right.
And if I would say that a person at that point is mentally retarded.
But isn't the legal test for that basically your mental capacity? And courts can examine that issue if it doesn't rise. If someone says like, they have a
I'm
chance
sure
to make
there's
that
a
defense.
facility for it.
Yeah, they have a chance to
right?
make that defense if that really is the case.
I think TJ's making an argument just for like intelligence though, like putting aside mental illness and just being like, if you're dumb enough, then you get less of a sentence because you just didn't know no better.
Right.
I don't think so.
I do.
No. I don't think there's anybody that's dumb to the point of not being mentally impaired, just low IQ and stupid.
Right.
That deserves leniency when it comes to something like
You
this.
have a I guess you have a higher estimation of the species than I do, maybe, but
Maybe.